good number of them. Now here at the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, we work with the Disney Conservation Fund to help protect these animals and their habitats. Now we can't stop for pictures for every single animal, so do make sure you have your cameras out and ready. We can stop for just a few of them for just a few short seconds at a time. And do hold on tightly to those cameras because you don't want to drop them over the side of the truck. Now we're going to get entering the reserve here in just a few short moments. Are you guys excited for your safari today? Yeah, alright, me too. And it looks like we are entering the reserve now through the Little Ituri Forest.
Keep your cup down. You don't
Now the
drop it.
animals who live here in the forest, they tend to blend in pretty well with their surroundings. So do make sure you keep your eyes peeled. Now here on the right, I do see an okapi. That's that animal with striped lights there. Now okapis are actually not related to zebras, even though they kind of look like them. They're closely related to giraffes. That smaller animal you'll see towards the back of the truck by the rocks back there, that is called a yellow-backed duiker. Now, duiker means diving buck in Afrikaans, and that's because the yellow-backed duiker dives into the brush to escape from predators.
Doesn't always work because that's usually more.
Now we are coming up to a watering hole here on the left, which may mean there might be a black rhino around. Now we'll be pretty lucky if we do see a black rhino here today, because unfortunately due to poaching, there are only 5,000 black rhinos left in the world. Let's see if luck is on our side here today, and it looks like it
See him back there,
is.
Jack?
Now black rhinos get to be around 3,000 pounds, and their horns are actually made of keratin, which is the same thing that human hair and fingernails are made of. Now, as we continue on in the forest, I do see an animal here pretty close to the road, and that's a pretty rare sight here. This is a bongo. Please make sure you remain seated.
Like 80 of them.
Now, bongos are called the ghosts of the forest because they're so shy and so rarely seen. So that's a pretty cool sight here that we get to see one.
And they're rare. There's like 80 of them. There's like 40 in the aisle. The guy raises the one. You know the one I catered.
There's another one up in the hill in the trees there.
Yeah. I wonder if they got a race.
Now, as we
They're like the
we
rarest
are going to be
animal.
entering the Safi River. Now, in the Safi River, make sure you take a look in the water. That's where the animals who live here tend to be. Now, I do see a hippo all the way back there in the corner. Now we can't stop here because this will be a blind turn for other trucks, but I think we might see a few more hippos up ahead. Now hippos can stay submerged underwater for up to 8 minutes at a time. That's actually how long they can hold their breath. Now here on the left, these large wafers that you see here on the island, these are called pink-backed pelicans. Now we know they don't really look that pink, but they're actually called that because their backs are pink during mating season.
That one's mating.
Now I do see a few hippos in the water here. Now it looks like it's walking along the bottom of the river. That's actually what hippos do. They walk along the bottom of the river. And they get to be around 5,500 pounds, and they eat around 150 pounds of food a day.
Yeah, I saw 3 of them. Did you get a picture of it?
Yes, I did.
I can't believe I saw a bird.
Okay, so I'm talking about it. There's number ones here.
Now as we cross this bridge, look to your left because I do see some Nile crocodiles. Now crocodiles get to be around 20 feet long. That's as long as a giraffe is tall. Sometimes you might see them with their mouths open. That's actually how they release heat. They're not just showing off their teeth, since they are cold-blooded animals.
I see the
Now, as we continue on, we're going to be entering the savannah, which is a totally different ecosystem from what we've seen so far. So we're going to be seeing some totally different animals. Animals like giraffes, elephants, and lions call the savannah home. So hopefully we will see quite a few of those here today. Now here on the right, I do see a tree that kind of looks like it's upside down. This is called a baobab tree. Also sometimes simply called an upside down tree. It goes leafless for 9 months out of the year and stores water in its large trunk.
I see it. Nature right now.
Now this is my favorite view of the whole savannah. It stretches for hundreds of miles in East Africa and acts as a superhighway for migrating animals. This is the wild Africa that we are all working to conserve.
Look in the brush first. Yeah, lions love the brush.
Now the savannah is shaped by the animals who live here. So elephants, they're like bulldozers, they'll knock down the trees. Giraffes, they're more like pruning shears, they're gonna eat the leaves off the trees. Zebras and antelope, they will mow the grass, and then gazelles will trim around the edges. So in a balanced ecosystem, everyone will have plenty of food to eat.
I'm guessing they're making a new habitat. See any elephants? No.
Are these large mounds that you see around the savannah? These are termite mounds. They can be as hard as concrete. Elephants, they'll use them as back scratching posts. And then once they whittle them down, antelopes will use them to look out for lions. Now I do see a giraffe here coming up on the left-hand side. See it, Annie?
Yeah.
Right now it's straight in front of us. But once we turn a little, you'll see it. Now, giraffes, they get to be around 20 feet tall. And even with those long necks of theirs, giraffe has 7 vertebrae in their necks just like humans do.
What is that?
Now, I do see quite a few animals coming up ahead, so we're just going to try and get as close of a look as we can to them.
Okay, so
So those animals with the really large horns that you see there, those are Ankole cattle. Now they're the only domesticated animals here on the reserve, and those large horns are actually not as heavy as they look because they act as a cooling system for the Ankole cattle. Now the gray animals that you see out there, those are white-throated wildebeest, and they have one of the largest animal migrations. They're also sometimes called new because of the sound that they make.
This way, Jack.
And then the tan animal that's a little further behind the wildebeest, that is a Patterson's eland. Now that is the largest of the antelope species.
wildebeest?
And the Patterson's eland gets to be around 1,000 pounds, and even with its large size, they can actually jump 6 to 8 feet in the air.
Yeah, how come the black rhino is whiter and the white rhino?
Alright, well, as we continue on here, we're going to be coming up to Monkey Point in just a little bit. Now, Monkey Point is usually home to some mandrills, which are the most colorful monkeys.
and probably some of the most hideous ones with their big shiny legs. Oh my god, I just saw a tree.
Now here on the left-hand side, this is Monkey Point. Let's see if we see any mandrills here today. No, if I see any mandrills here, but that's okay because I don't know about you guys, but I want to see some elephants today. So I'm going to take us on a little shortcut into elephant country. Now, African elephants, they get to be around 12,000 pounds, and then around 300 pounds of food a day. Now, the male African elephants, they tend to stay by themselves, and then the females and babies stay together. So hopefully, when we get into elephant country, we'll be seeing the females and babies, so we can see lots of elephants out there. Now, we're just going to wait for the warden to give us the clearance to take this shortcut, and then we should be on our way and into elephant country in absolutely no time.